Hey fellow collectors, it's Wilhelm here. Today I'd like to present something very special I've been working on for a while. As Mythic Legions fans and collectors, we have a very cool problem, if you will. Now, if you just stumbled along this video and you don't know what Mythic Legions is, hey, pause this video, Google Mythic Legions Four Horesemen Studios, check out this amazing line of action figures and come back. Trust me, you will be hooked. So this problem, of course, I'm referring to, which isn't really a problem, just joking, it's more like awesomeness, is that the Four Horsemen like to give us a ton of extra weapons and accessories with our Mythic Legions action figures. So if you enjoy purchasing weapon packs like I do, or maybe you create your own weapons, or just like to purchase them from various other toy figure lines, you've got a huge surplus of weapons probably sitting in baggies somewhere, or in some organizational tote box somewhere in your house, right? So here we have a big pile of spears, swords, daggers, banners, and other kind of cool stuff that I'd rather be in my collection than in some sort of a closet. So I thought, what if I could create something or even offer it to collectors, which would be really cool. Then I could take these extra weapons and use it to display them. Something custom and beautiful, yet pragmatic. Something that, even if you don't have any extra weapons per se, you still want to put them in this or display them in this anyway, just because it's so cool. So, without further ado, what if we could turn this into this? So, after several weeks of design and prototyping, I created this beautifully weathered, fully decoed, compact, yet high-capacity weapons rack designed from the ground up for Mythic Legions weapons and accessories. Now, could this be used for other action figure lines, such as Master of the Universe, etc.? Well, of course, but just to be aware, and so you know, I designed this entire thing around Mythic Legions weapons, and you'll kind of see why as we go. So, let's take a closer look at its features. So, it has 5 different weapon retention areas, allowing it to hold 42 plus weapons. So as we go through this, you'll kind of see why it's able to hold so much. So it's got this front section here, we can kind of lean things up against it. It's got some different features to hold those in place. I'll take the shield off. It also has a nice shelf here where you can put various smaller items, daggers, things like that. It's got a sword retention area here. That's the third. The fourth is the axe, spear, and halberd retention area. Roll all the way to the back. And the fifth area is this side section where you can hold like belts, but daggers. You could put a sword here. And then in the back, you could put additional spears or even banners, which I'll show a little bit later. So let's go ahead and take the weapons off, and we'll take a little closer look at each section. So looking closer at the front section, this is a really versatile display area. You can put lots of different things here due to its design. So swords will go right here, and they will not slide back and forth because of these little notches right here. I'll bring that a little closer. So you can kind of see that due to these little notches right here, that'll kind of hold them in place from sliding around. This little crossbar area here is really nice because you can put smaller weapons, like this mace for example, and you could put it right there, and you can kind of see this, it's too short to reach that, but the crossbar allows it to rest very nicely, just like that. So you can put smaller weapons right here. Again, you could put different various kinds of shields right here as well. That looks really nice. And looking forward towards the advent of Decay release with bows. Bows would look fantastic. This is exactly where they'd go. These notches would prevent them from sliding around, and the little notch right here would prevent them from moving this way, and you could just layer them, just like this, and it would look really cool. So that's the front area. Again, very versatile area, put lots of different stuff. So the second section, which is this shelf right here, is going to be really nice for small little items like daggers, small bits. Again, especially with that Advent of Decay release coming up, there's all different kinds of figures that have small daggers. You can line them up right here, or just kind of set them right here on the shelf, and they just look really cool. So if you're concerned about your daggers, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to put them in my figures, they're too small, they might get lost, you can display them right here on the shelf. They look really nice. And then moving on to the next section, we'll see that this section right here is the sword retention area. Each one is notched right here, and it allows it from, again, sliding around. They're perfectly matched, so they're nice and straight. They'll hold the longer swords like this. Of course, they'll hold smaller swords as well really nicely. They'll even hold kind of awkward shaped swords like these. Just put them in there and rotate them. Very nice. And they'll even hold like third-party swords. Really nice too. It's a general, overall great retention area and works perfect for swords. So the fourth retention area, which is this back section right here, is designed to hold axes, spears, halberds. It can even hold hammers. But you can kind of see how it's notched kind of long, and that's because I wanted to make sure that these axe handles, which are a little square, will fit into there and not rotate. So they're nice and straight. Now, some do rotate just a hair, but this really prevents that from flopping around, so that way the axes can, if you have a ton of axes, they can all line up really nicely. And they have a nice crossbar down below, right here, which is what they use to slot into to prevent them from sliding forward. And the final retention area are these posts here on the side, right here and right here. And you can put daggers there, you can put belts, variety of different things, and that works very nicely for that. And then finally, these back blocks are for additional spears or banners, should you choose. Alright, so we have the weapons rack bristling with weapons at full capacity. Let's just count them up. So here we've got 12 weapons in the front, so that's 12. We've got 12 swords in the middle section there. We've got 10 axes slash spears. So now we're up to 12, 24, 34. We've got 3 weapons here on the side and 3 weapons here on the side. So that's 6. So now we're up at 40. And then the 2 spears here and here. So that's 42. And where's the plus come from? Again, let's say we wanted to put a little mace right back here on the shelf behind, or you want to put all different kinds of little daggers. Now we're talking, again, 42 plus. You could fit 10 daggers back there, bring it up to 50. So yeah, it holds a lot of weapons for a very small, compact size. So let's take a quick look at its aesthetics in terms of what I did to make it look kind of weathered, realistic yet still belonging in a fantasy type of setting. So it went through 5 different passes of weathering, which takes a ton of time, as most of you know, to make it look kind of grizzled, authentic, used, beat up, yet well maintained. I used this really beautiful English oak stain on this wood to make that weathering pop and look attractive, so that, again, I think it turned out really nice. It has this nice kind of faux gold inlay with a Celtic design, which really makes it look, I think, attractive. Has some nice metal-looking clawed feet here on the front. It has real alloy emblems here on the back, and those are, I think, really nice. They can, again, make it look very attractive from a fantasy type of setting. And then it has these nice kind of silver caps on the top, again, to make it pop. So yeah, I think, even if you wanted just to put a couple of weapons in this and just kind of make it sit and look pretty on its own, I think it will just really come out and stand out in your collection. So now let's just take a quick peek at the construction, just so you kind of know how it was put together. So the entire weapon rack was handmade with as much precision as possible, but keep in mind, this is not a factory-made thing, right? There are going to be variances, there are going to be different things that may be off, but this thing I made in mind that this could end up in somebody's collection, and you can see, this is very precision. I was very careful. The amount of time it took me to make just one of these units will blow your mind, because I'm very careful in everything that I do and all the design process that I made. But again, keep in mind, it's handmade. It's not going to be absolutely factory perfect. I made it with quality woods such as poplar, basswood, alder, with minimal use of quote unquote craft sticks. The craft sticks did have to be used in a couple different areas simply because it's very dense, thin wood, and and it worked really well in those areas. I did use dowels in much of the different sections to connect in order to create a very sturdy product. I use premium wood glue. Here, guys, I don't use Elmer or any of that crap, right? I use, not only did I buy good wood glue, I bought the premium stuff, so I'm not messing around here. There are 4 areas of cross support to make sure this thing doesn't collapse upon pressure or if it falls. It's got the dowels right here. It's got cross support right here with this on the back. It's got a dowel support here to support this platform, as well as any pressure coming in from here, and then this cross beam right here to support any pressure. So this thing could really survive a fall from pretty good heights and stay together. Again, these alloy emblems here on the posts are attached with JB Weld, and if you know what JB Weld is, you know that, again, not messing around here. This emblem is not going anywhere. It's not like I super glued it to the wood post. And then finally, it's given a final matte coat of just kind of a protector to make sure, again, that the finish and the paint and all that good stuff is retained and lasts and doesn't fade for years to come. So let's do some quick measurements. All right, so in terms of height, it is about 7 inches tall. In terms of width, it's about 8.5, but when you factor in the pegs here on the side, it's about 9.25, 9.5. This front section here is about 4 inches tall. In terms of width, from tip of claw to back of block there, it's about 6 inches. And then this is about 4 inches there. So that'll give you a good idea of whether or not this will fit on your shelves. So there we have it. Here we can kind of see I put the banners up, and they're so tall that I couldn't quite get them into the background there. But the banners make it just awesome. I really love the banners on the back. So if you're looking for something unique and custom, something that will make your fellow collectors ask you, whoa, where'd you get that? This could be an excellent addition to your collection. As for pricing, that's been very difficult. You know, if I was pricing this based on how many hours it takes to make one, it would be completely unaffordable. I have made 5 initially, and I don't really know if I'll make more. It all depends on whether or not collectors find this appealing. So, you know, we'll see. I'll be selling this on an Etsy shop. I'll put that in the link in the description below. You can also search eBay. I'll maybe put a few up on there, depending. But again, life circumstances can alter things, so they may no longer be available months, years from now, depending when you stumble on this video. So I'll also be posting a few pictures on different forums and Facebook groups, so feel free to private message me if you have any other questions. I'll leave you with a few pictures, but thanks for watching, and happy collecting.